حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد فقد قال الله الحكيم في كتابه المتين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. The first weapon that shaitan used against mankind was hasad, was envy. And envy and hasad itself is not a sin. It is not a sin to be hasud, to be envious. But hasad, even though it's not a sin, but every way that it's expressed is a sin. There is no good way for hasad to express itself. It will express itself in tawheed and insulting others. It will express itself in riba, backbiting. It will express itself in buhtan, lying, gift. And it will express itself in qatl, in killing. And we see that this is the way that hasad expressed itself in the son of Adam, Qabil. He became envious of his brother and he killed him. He killed him, and after he killed him, he stood over his brother watching him. He stood over his brother watching him. He didn't know what happened. What is this? He's expecting him, okay, you're down, okay, get up now. Because until then, no one has seen death yet. No one knew what death meant. He didn't know what death meant. He didn't know what it meant to be dead. He was looking at his brother Habib who's dead. He's looking at him and he's like watching him and saying, okay, you're sleeping, okay, now get up. He didn't get up. And now he became worried. He became worried. He started regretting what he had done. He became remorseful. My friends, the first thing that we can learn from this is that whenever a zalim, whenever an oppressor, whenever a criminal becomes remorseful and regrets what he has done, this is the biggest victory for the victim. The greatest victory for the victim is when the one who's killing him, the one who's hurting him, regrets what he has done. Because he understands that the victim was right and I was wrong. If you were right, you would never be remorseful. Why would you be remorseful for doing something right? Why would you regret for doing something right? That's why the biggest victory for the victim, for Habil, was that his brother was regretting what he had done. When he looked at him, and he didn't know what to do. My friend, understand this, how helpless he felt. How helpless he felt. And I just want to point out to you one of the tricks that shaitan uses to misguide man. You see, when the envy was there, it was easy for him to kill his brother. But after he committed the sin, now he thought of that sin as so big that he didn't want to deal with it. He didn't know what to do with it. And this is one of the ways that shaitan tricks you and deceives you. When he wants you to do a sin, he makes the sin look so cheap and look so little that you feel that it's easy to do it. He makes it look easy for you. He makes it look light for you. It doesn't matter. The sin becomes light. And once you do it, then he makes the sin look so severe and so serious that you lose hope of forgiveness and repentance. On one hand, when you do a sin, for example, if you want to, let's say, drink wine, he makes it look easy. He says everyone does it. Doesn't matter if you do it, it's easy. This and that. So now, he makes it look cheap. He makes it look so easy to do it. So when we do it, then he comes to you and says, oh, look what you did. Oh, look what you did now. Now Allah is not going to forgive you. Now Allah is not going to do. He's not going to forgive you. Now you're like, yes. And then you lose hope in Allah's mercy. He makes you lose hope in Allah's mercy. In both ways he attacks you. Before the sin, he makes it look easy. After the sin, he makes it look hard. And in both ways, he destroys you. And this is what happened to Habil's brother. He stood over there and he didn't know what to do, and he says there's no hope now. There's no hope. He could have asked for istighfar. He could have repented. But you see, he didn't. He did not repent. Now, he looked over it and he didn't know what to do with the dead body. My friends, understand the lessons that we gain from incidents that we have in Islam. He looked at the dead body. He didn't know what to do with it. Because, we all know what to do with a dead body. We learned it either in Islamic, Sunday school, or we have watched dead bodies. We have watched other people take care of dead bodies, so we know. But this guy didn't know, because there was no person before this has died. He had no experience. He looked at that dead body. He didn't know what to do. So Allah, you see this, Allah, He sent two birds there. He sent two birds there. Those birds, they fought each other, one killed the other. And then when the dead bird lay on the ground, the bird that was living threw dirt on it. And by looking at those birds, Qabil understood, oh, this is what you do with a dead body. This is what you do with a dead body. Allah explained to him through animals what you should do to a dead body. My friends, understand the helplessness of Qabil. How low can you become when you do dhulm and when you oppress others, when you do injustice to others? You become so low that you learn from animals how to live your life. Animals become your teacher. Understand this, instead of animals learning from us, human beings who are better than animals, we have stooped to the level that because of the injustice we have done, that we have to learn from animals how to live in harmony and peace. This is a knock on us, on human beings. When we do injustice, this is what happens. When we do wrong, this is what happens. We become so low that now animals are our teachers. You see that? Research is being done on how animals live their life, and people, you can watch Animal Planet, The reason how animals live their life, so we can learn from them how to live our life. Allah made you Ashraful Makhlukat. He made you Masjudul Malaika. He made you the focus of the universe. And you are learning from animals? This is because of injustice. This is because of dhulm that we do to ourselves. Alright, so then, after that, when it was done, the incident was done, so the news reached Adam. Adam heard. The first thing he was told is that your son Habil has been killed. When he heard that, he cried. When he heard that, he cried. And then, they informed him that the one who killed him is your other son Qabil. And as soon as he heard that, he says, La'natullah alayhi. He said, Allah sent his curse on him. Two things. He heard about Habil, he cried. He heard about his other son, he sent lanats. So my friends, Adam, who is our father, first man of us, the prophet, first messenger, he has shown us the way. When he heard about the zulm that was done on Habil, he cried. When he heard about the zalim, he sent lanat. So my friends, crying for mazloom and sending lanat on the zalim is the seerat and sunnah of Adam. So if we cry for mazloom, if we cry for the zulm that was done on Hussein, we are doing what Adam has done. And if we are sending lanat on those who killed him, we are doing what Adam has done. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam. So the first assault of shaitan was hasad, was envy. Now let's come to the second weapon that he used. The second weapon that he used against mankind. And here, just an introduction to that. You know, shaitan, he came to mankind after that, he wanted to misguide them. He came to mankind and said, listen, Allah gave you an aql. He gave you intellect. He gave you reasoning. Allah gave you a brain. He gave you a mind. You can think for yourself. You can think for yourself. Look at you, you're an intelligent man. You do your own things. You can make up your mind. You can think for yourself. If Allah wanted you to obey Him, if He just wanted obedience, then why would He give you intellect for? Why would He give you a mind for? I mean, you have your reasoning, right? You think. You're a thinking person. You're a thinking animal. Look at all the other animals. Those animals, Allah says, do what they do. But you are insan. Allah He gave you aql. He gave you reasoning. He made you smart. If He wanted you to be obedient, then what's the use of this aql? What's the use of this mind? And we were like, oh yes, of course. You know, we can think for ourselves. So now when Allah gives an order, He gives a command, so now we're like, wait a minute, we're not robots. We have a brain of our own, we have a mind of our own, let me think. Yeah, let me think about this. You see, this is the second weapon of shaitan. He told you to use your mind in front of the command of Allah. So when Allah's commands come, now you're thinking whether I should follow it or not. This is the second assault of shaitan. And this assault happened in the time of Prophet Nuh. In the time of Prophet Nuh. You heard about the first assault, the first weapon he used in the time of Adam. This happened in the time of Prophet Nuh. This is the second weapon that shaitan made to misguide mankind. In the time of Nuh, Nuh had gone to Allah after preaching to the people for 900 years. 900 years he preached to the people and they didn't listen. You know? And this goes to show the character of Nuh. I mean, 900 years. I mean, we give up in 1 month. The whole Ramadan passes and then if the people don't change, the hell with them. Leave them alone. Who cares? Yeah, you go away. This is Nuh. I mean, 900 years he didn't give up. And if after 900 years, if he made a dua to Allah, they're not listening, get rid of them. Then we can say, okay, no, they deserve it. If they don't listen after 900 years, they truly deserve it. Right? They deserve to be drowned. I mean, really, look at this. 900 years, a lot of time to be given. Nuh worked a lot. 900 years he worked to preach to the people. And after that, he made a dua to Allah. Allah, do not leave any of these kafirs on the earth. Do not leave any infidel on the earth. Kill them all. Destroy them all. Allah accepted it. He said, yes, we accept it. You know, and his dua was accepted, and the storm is going to come. Allah said there is a storm that's coming and it's going to drown everyone. And as you know, the whole of mankind was in one place at that time. Noah is the 9th generation of Adam. Right? From Adam to Noah is 9 generations. Right? So the whole family, the whole tribe is in one place. It's not like they're all over the world, right? They're in one place. Right? From Adam to Noah, what happened, just, brief synopsis, is that after Adam, the only rule that Allah wanted to be observed was that no one leaves the mountain and goes into the valley. And as soon as the children started disobeying and they went into the valley, by the time of Prophet Noah, everyone had gone into the valley except for Noah. And that's why Allah sent him, now go and you call the people back to Allah's religion, to Islam. So Noah went down there. And he worked with them for 900 years. And after that he said he made a dua. So obviously the storm is going to come into the valley. It's not the whole world that has a storm. It's in the valley. I mean, the whole human population was right there. So the storm is coming. And Allah, He told Nuh that build a ship, build an ark to save those who are with you. So Prophet Nuh started building the ship. He started building the ship. It's not easy, my friends, understand this. To the people, this was completely illogical. And the reason it was illogical is that he's building a ship in a valley where there's no access to water. And people are looking at that and says, you see, we told you he was crazy. He was telling you he's building a ship over here. What are you building? A ship. Where's the water? There's no water there. Everyone's like laughing at him. He's building a ship, but you see, he is obedient to Allah's command. He's saying, I'm doing what Allah asked me to do. I know there's no access to water here. There's no lake, there's no river, there's no water. But Allah has told me to build it. So I'm building it. So he started building the ship. Right? Now my friends, understand this. The storm hasn't come yet. But the ship is being built. Before the storm comes. And from here we can learn that this is Allah's way. It always has been and it always will be. Before Allah sends any adab, any punishment, any test, any ibtala, any hardship that comes as a test for you, before He sends the test, before He sends the punishment, He always makes the way of salvation before that. The storm didn't come yet, but the sip of salvation is being made before the storm is coming. So that salvation is there for mankind before the storm comes. The way or the means of salvation is there before the storm comes. And this is not new. With Adam, with Shaitan also, Allah did the same thing. For all creatures who lived before mankind, before Allah made Shaitan, Shaitan came as a test. Before the test came, before Satan came, before Shaitan came, Allah made the means of salvation, which was the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And just like the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad was there before Shaitan, and Shaitan came later, just like that the ship on the ark of Noah was there before the storm came. So the means of salvation and najat is there for everyone before the test is given. This is the reason you can understand why the Prophet had equated Ahlul Bayt with the ship of Noah. And he said that my Ahlul Bayt is like the ship of Noah. Those who get on it are saved, those who get away from it are drowned. I see. So Adam here, no, he's making the ship, building the ship. And then the ship is made. So now, my friends, a few things, because of the thing that I'm going to reach my point, but before that I want to make some certain points so that we all can understand Islam, understand the ideology of Islam, what it is. The ship is made, the storm comes and it starts to rain. The rain starts to pour and the water starts to gather and it starts to now rise and people are getting afraid. Now, my friends, here comes the story of Prophet Nuh's son. The son of Prophet Nuh. Just one thing about this, right? And I want to explain this to you. Right? Nuh had other children also who were good. But Allah mentioned the only son that He mentioned in the Quran was this one who went astray. Now let me just give you an usul of life so you understand something. Give me a salawat. Let's say I'm Maulana over here and I know you. And this new brother came to the community. Why? He doesn't know you. Right? So I have to introduce you. Now you have, let's say, different brothers. MashaAllah, one of the brothers is on the executive committee of the masjid. A mu'min brother, a muttaqi brother. And you have another brother who's in jail. And then you all have bad relatives, Some was good, some was bad. Someone's in jail, someone is muttaqi, He's a criminal and the other one is this. So we all have, everyone has a bad relative and we all know, okay, that guy, he's the bad apple in my family. Right? Now, if I want to introduce this brother to you, now for example, I have different ways of doing it. Now, he knows your other two brothers. So now if I want to introduce you, you come there and I'm there. So obviously I will do it with the brother who's muttaqi. MashaAllah, the brother who's in the masjid all the time and he's doing this and everything. Yes, I know the brother. Well, this is his brother. Humble. But when he comes there, now I introduce you and I say, guy who's in jail and who's in the picture for, the crime he did, this and that. Yeah, that's his brother there. He said, Maulana, I have other brothers too who are good. Why didn't you introduce them through me? Through them. Why did you do it to him? What? If you do it to someone good, then at least, there's a good impression. It happens. For example, if I introduce you to your muttaqi brother, he'll be like, oh, salam alaikum, this and that. He'll be happy to meet you. If I introduce you to your criminal brother, he'll go, oh, salam alaikum. I don't want to know him. It happens. This is the way of life. This is the principle of life. You introduce people to someone who's good so that you leave a good impression with them. We understand this. Everyone understands this. So now if we all understand this, the only question is, Nuh had other children who were good, who were believers, who were Muslims, who went with him. Why did you have to take the name of this one guy who did? This one son who did? If you had never mentioned him, we would never know that Nuh had a son who was bad. But forever now, every time Nuh's name is mentioned, oh, he has the one with the bad kid. Isn't that right? Everyone is saying, yeah, he's the one with the bad child. And everyone gives the example of Nuh. Oh, look at Prophet Nuh, he also had a bad child. Understand that? Allah, why did you do this to Prophet Nuh? Why did you do it to him? My friend, understand this. Why Allah is doing it, so we understand wisdom. What is the reasoning behind it? You have condemned Prophet Nuh. You have made him such. You have made Prophet Nuh condemned. Everyone who remembers Nuh will remember that one son who went astray. Why did you do that to Nuh? So now Allah is replying back and He's telling us, you are seeing the son who went astray. And that's what your angle is. That's what your focus is. But my focus to you is to see this father who's Nuh. This Prophet Nuh, look at his character, that his son is going astray. What I want to teach you is not that your son is going to go astray or not. What I want to teach you is to see what kind of a father Nuh is. That until the last moment, he never lost hope on his son. Until the last minute, he hasn't lost hope on his son. He was calling him back till the last minute until he drowned. See the character of Noah. See the character of Nuh. This is the character that I want you to have. When you have children, and if you see your children, and even if they go astray, as a father, you should not lose hope in them. Always try to guide them. If you always try to guide them, and if you never lose hope in them, then you have done what Nuh has done, and I will commend you for that. But if you lose hope and let your children go and go astray, then it will be your fault. And this is the lesson that Allah wanted us to learn. That yes, Noah's child was bad. It doesn't, Allah is the one who gives guidance. No one can be sure that because I'm his son, I'm going to be okay. No one is assured of that. No one is assured of that. This is the reason we have to not lose hope in our children. Especially here when we are living in this country. Need to work with them. Give them the opportunities where they can come closer to Allah and understand Allah. Otherwise the storm is going to take over them. And if you lose hope, Allah will blame you for that. But if you try till the end and do not lose hope in your children, then Allah will say, yes, you have done what the prophets have done and what I've asked you to do. Now if he has gone astray, that's his fault. But you tried. You did not lose hope. This, my friends, is the idea that we have to take with us. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So when the storm came, Noah's son was walking away. He was walking away. Nuh called out to him and said, where are you going? He said, Sa'abi ila jabalin ya'simuni. He said, I'm going to the mountain. The mountain will give me refuge. It will save me. The mountain will save me. You know? Now my friends, understand this. What's happening? Understand what's happening to Noah's son. He is looking at the size of the storm. It is a big storm. It is a huge storm. And he's looking at the size of the ship. It is a small ship. The storm is big. The ship is small. Allah has shown us, really, Allah has shown us that it doesn't matter if the ship that Allah makes is small or big. If Allah has made it for the salvation of mankind, even if it's small, it can weather a storm that big. If you understood this example, then you would know that even today if we see that Allah has made the ship of Ahlul Bayt a salvation, do not see the size of this ship. It might be small, but just like Noah's ship was small, but it braved that huge storm and won over and conquered that storm. Just like that, Allah's ship of salvation can brave any storm and conquer that storm. people here? Alright? If you go to like other gatherings, you will see thousands of people there. Don't think that, oh, this is a small place. No. It doesn't matter if you're small or big. If Allah has made this a place of salvation, then this is the only place that will be saved. What is important is that Allah has made it. Allah has to make the ship of salvation. Right? If we get on the ship of salvation, then we will survive. Otherwise, we are doomed. So now when he looks at the ship, he sees it small. And then he turns down and looks at the mountain. The mountain is big. You see, the mountain is big. Now he does some calculations. The ship is small, mountain is big. He does his calculations and says, I'm going to the mountain. I think the mountain, I have a better chance of being saved on the mountain. You know, I mean, he was like a bookie, you know, making odds, you know. Oh, better odds of me being saved on the mountain than on the ship. He made his own calculations. And he said that the mountain will save me. Now, understand here what he's saying. He's looking at the size of the ship and the mountain. And in his own mind, he decided that the mountain is going to save me because it's bigger. I have a better chance of being saved on the mountain. Now, Nuh replies to him, and I want you to pay attention to that reply. Nuh, when he hears him say that, he says, La asimul yawm min. No one is going to be protected. Today, no one will be saved. From what? He didn't say from the storm. He didn't say from the water. He didn't say from the floods. He said, min amrillah, from the command of Allah. Why is he saying this? To let you know that it is not the storm you have to fear. It is not the water that you have to fear. What is happening today is the command of Allah. And when the command of Allah comes, no one can save you from it. And He's giving this reasoning to him to let him know that when the command of Allah comes, then you don't use your aql, you don't use your intellect, you don't use your reasoning and your brain. Because this is the command of Allah. If you use your brain, you will be doomed. Just like the son of Noah looked at the ship and the mountain and said, oh, the mountain is bigger, I can be saved there. This is using the aql when the amr of Allah has come. When the command of Allah has come. When the Allah's command comes, you don't use your aql, you don't use your mind, you just obey what Allah says and you will be saved. And this is the assault of shaitan. He is he who made him think that. He said, listen, Allah gave you a mind, think for yourself. Do you really think the small ship can save you? Look at the mountain, that can save you. And to him, his aql is saying, oh, look at the mountain, I should go to the mountain now. What do you mean you go to the mountain? The mountain's not going to save. And it was just because he went to the mountain. Maybe the mountain was not supposed to be drowned. But the amr of Allah was going to get everyone, not everything. Everyone. Every kafir. So no matter where the kafir goes, the amr of Allah is going behind him. Maybe the mountain was not supposed to be drowned. But because he went on top of it, the mountain also drowned. Allah drowned the mountain just to get him. Understand this, my friends. When Allah's amr comes, you don't use your aql. And this is shaitan who gives that view to you. No, Allah gave you a mind. You're a free thinker. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. And when we start thinking for ourselves, we're doomed. And shaitan is teaching this because he himself has done it. He himself has done it. Like when Allah says, وَإِذَا سَوَّيْتَهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. When Allah made the body of Adam and breathed his ruh into him, He says, فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. I says, when I am going to breathe into Adam my ruh, He didn't say, go into sajda please. He didn't say, usjudu. He didn't say usjudu. If He had said usjudu, it would be a lack of eloquence and a lack of wisdom. If Allah had said usjudu, Just like that, he said, no, when I breathe him to my soul, فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. It means fall into sajda. Don't just go into sajda. Fall into it. فَقَعُوا is saying that fall. Without any hesitation, fall. Why? Because when the command of Allah has come, Allah doesn't even want to give you a second to think before you go into sajda. Do not think about it, just fall into it. Because if you start to think, then you will be destroyed. And shaitan, when he heard that, and Allah said, everyone fall into sajda, everyone just come into sajda, he said, wait a minute. Let's think about this now. Let's just think about this. Hold on. Why the haste? Wait a minute, I have a mind, I can think. You gave me a mind, Allah. Let me think about this. We need to think about this. Is he really better than me? No, ana khayrun minhum. I'm better than he is. You see, once you start to think, that is when you're destroyed. You're destroyed when you start to think when Allah's command has come. When Allah sends you a command, do not think about it. Just obey it and you will be saved. My friends, this is shaitan's second assault. Now we all think, hey, if Allah didn't want us to use our aql, if He didn't want us to use our intellect, if He didn't want us to use your mind and reasoning, why did He give it to us? Why did He give it to us? Oh, there's a reason why. There's a very big reason why. He gave you aql, He gave you reasoning, He gave you brain, He gave you a mind. But I'll tell that tomorrow. Stay tuned. Till tomorrow for that. But until then, I'll just leave you at this. Right? That when Allah's amr comes, when Allah's command comes, there is no room for thinking. Our job is to obey. This is the sign of believers who say, Sama'na wa ata'na. We hear, we obey. There's nothing in between. When we hear the command, that's it, we obey. This is the way of believers, my friends. This is the way of mu'mineen. This is the way of prophets. This is the way of Anbiya. This is the way of Aimma that we want to follow. Right? And once we start thinking and saying, oh, I have a mind of my own, that's where we get doomed. Now, where do we use our mind? Inshallah, I'll explain that tomorrow. Right? Where Allah wanted us to use our aql and our reason. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a tawfiq and a blessing to be on the right path. Give us the wisdom to understand His guidance. Hasten the reappearance of our Imam. Make us his helper when He comes. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Salam.